Hey loves, and welcome to this November 2020 bullet journal setup. The theme for this month is coffee. I wanted to do this theme for so long. I'm so happy I finally got around to do it. And I'm starting off on my iPad. I'm showing you how I'm painting a coffee from above, kind of a flat lay style. I will be using this illustration for the cover page. My idea was to have two little Polaroids with different coffee images inside of them, so that is one of them. Right now I'm just finishing up my line art. I used mainly 3 different colors for this image. I'm using brown for the coffee, some beige for the milk and the design in the coffee, and gray for the coffee cup. And after finishing the line art, I'm filling everything in, so that's what I'm doing right now. And then I'm going to add some shadows and a little bit of lighting. For the shadows, I always take my main color, so in this case brown. I darken it a bit and then I apply it wherever I think the natural shadow would be. And my main tool I use for this is a filter. It's called Gaussian Blur. And this is just my go-to filter. It blurs everything out really nice and you get a really soft shadow. But now let's start the journaling. I've got my bullet journal, I've got my coffee and my favorite coffee mug, and then I'm showing you what I'm using for today. So I have this brown paper that I just printed coffee all over, so it has this fun coffee pattern. My 2 pictures I printed out and some regular copy paper. I used this recycled one. It has more of a brown tone in it, but I actually switched to a pure white one. I just thought it looked better with the images because they were also brown. It just didn't have a contrast. So I used my scissors to cut everything, and then I'm cutting 2 rectangles for the Polaroid pictures. So I'm going to paste my printed square pictures into those white rectangles, and then that kind of looks like a Polaroid picture. But before doing that, I'm adding November to one of those little Polaroids, and then I'm going to paste everything into my journal. And then I have to say I love this coffee paper. I just did this coffee script pattern on my iPad and I printed it onto a brown paper, so it looks really nice. And if you're interested in doing this in your own journal, I will have this PDF file where the coffee pattern is in for free for you to download on my website, as well as the cover page and the whole setup. Just go to fabiennedesigns.com/downloads and then you can download everything for free on there. Now I'm just pasting everything in, and I really love how this cover page turned out. It was so easy and quick to set up, but it looks really great because of that pattern. The only thing left to do is to cut off the excess of the paper that is sticking out, and then we can move on to the monthly layout. Now, for the first time this year, I'm doing a slightly different grid calendar this year. So instead of doing one big calendar, I decided on doing little small squares for each day. And then I'm using 3 different brown tones for my Crayola Super Tips. And I'm adding a dot in each square for the date to write it in. Then I'm writing down the title, November, in the upper left corner. And then it's again time for my coffee paper to get pasted in. I tried to use this in every spread so it gets a cohesive look throughout the month. And it's time for some stickers. I created this really fun coffee themed sticker sheet and I'm pasting in some on the left side and on the bottom of this layout. And if you're interested in this sticker sheet, you can get it in my Etsy shop. I'll link it down below. Now on to the next two pages, my quote page and my expenses tracker. Quote page, really simple this month and also really obvious, but first coffee. And I had a really fun idea, or actually my boyfriend did, and I wanted to try it out. I wanted to do some rings, coffee rings, and I thought instead of just painting them and getting them to look real, I used some actual coffee and a mug and just pressed the mug onto the paper. It did take a lot of time to actually dry, but after that I thought it looked really cool and was really easy to make. And then again, I'm using some of my coffee pattern paper to finish everything off. So these two pages were really simple and easy to set up. Now for the last setup for this month, I wanted to do a vertical weekly layout, so I'm just drawing some boxes. I did one for each weekday and then one for the weekend because I usually tend to not write a lot of things down on the weekend, so that I did have a space on the upper left corner and one on the upper right corner to write something in or to paste some stickers in. Then I added a brown drop shadow to all of these boxes and again used one of those brown Crayola super tips to add in a dot for the date. And of course the coffee paper has to be in this spread as well. And I also decided to do some more coffee rings. So I'm using again my mug and some actual coffee to create these. Then I'm pasting in some of that coffee pattern paper. And the last thing I'm doing is I'm adding some stickers. And that's it for this November plan with me. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, then please consider subscribing. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye, loves!